Hello and welcome. My name is Adrena. I am the owner and accountant here at Accounting by Adrena. We are a Los Angeles-based virtual bookkeeping firm who work with clients that are entrepreneurs and small business owners. So if you are one of those people and are interested in booking a discovery call with me, go ahead and look at that link down below in the description box and you can book one right on my calendar. If you are not subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do subscribe now. And go ahead and give this video a thumbs up so I know that you are watching and that you are engaged and that you are enjoying this video. So in this video, I decided that I would combine all three of my QuickBooks Self-Employed tutorial type videos into one video. Now, I believe most of you have found me through my most popular QuickBooks Self-Employed tutorial video, but I have done two other updates to QuickBooks Self-Employed type videos. And so I just decided that it would be a good idea to have one place to come for all three of these videos. So that's what you will find in today's video. We will go ahead and leave links, timestamps in the description box below for these videos and also the links to the direct videos if you'd like to go there and see them. But I just wanted to make sure that there was a place that you can come to if you wanted a all-in-one type of video for all of my QuickBooks Self-Employed tutorials. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. Hello, my name is Adrena and I am the owner and accountant here at Accounting by Adrena LLC. And today I am so excited. I am going to walk you through the newest version of QuickBooks Self-Employed. So in 2020, they did some massive updates to the QuickBooks Self-Employed version. And I am just thrilled about these updates because it's going to help you become way more accurate with your QuickBooks financials. And this is only for the self-employed individual. And so I just want to be very clear about that. It's the one of a different version of QuickBooks. QuickBooks has like 4 different versions that you can do online. And so this is for the self-employed individual. So I do have another video that is up about self-employed, but this is going to be the updated video, the updated version. This is going to be a content heavy video. So feel free to pause this video at any point in time, write down your notes. And also if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you could see more of this great content coming at you. All right, friends, let's dig right in. All right, friends, I am just going to provide you this link where it shows you can do a QuickBooks test drive and trial links. So that way you can use these resources at your disposal. They have a trial link for QuickBooks Self-Employed that you can do. It says 50% off for 3 months. So if you click on this button here that says buy now, that's where it will take you, which is great. It's a great deal. So I'm going to go to QuickBooks Self-Employed Test Drive, and I'm just going to walk you through this whole process. Okay, we could just click on Continue to Test Drive. All right, so this is going to be kind of like the home page of what you will see when you log into QuickBooks Self-Employed online. Now, there's going to be a few things that I want to point out to you. One of the cool things is that they're trying to aggregate some data for you so that you can see a profit and loss for the past 3 months, your expenses over the past 3 months, any invoices that you have going on, and your mileage. So this is also going to provide you an estimate for what you owe for estimated taxes. And so obviously Q1 doesn't have any information in it right now. Okay, the other thing that I want to point out to you guys is that you can customize this homepage. So you can click here and you can say, well, I just want to really look at this month. So since there's no data there, obviously it's going to be 0. If you want to look at this year, you can say, I'm just going to look at this year. So it would include all the dates that have the information included. You can also look at last year data. So however you want to view this, the last 3 months, if you're looking at it on a quarterly perspective, it's going to save it. So that way the next time you log in, you'll find that this information is updated. All right, so the next thing I want to point out to you, they do try to give you some quick links here, so I just usually try to X out of that because I'm not interested in that right now. The other thing I want to show you is that you can connect your bank accounts. So you can connect a cash account, credit card, and maybe you have like a savings account attached to your business. You can also connect it that way. So if we click on view, it's going to show you what accounts you have connected. And so there's a checking account, there's a credit card account, and it says on. So that's great. Now, if you wanted to connect another account, you would just click on this little button. You would choose whichever bank account that you have. Obviously, this is a test drive situation, so it's not really going to allow us to go any further. So we're going to go back here, and then I'm going to X out of here. So what it's going to do is under this tab here where it says transactions, it's going to pull in all of your banking transactions from whichever date you selected. So let's say I am only interested in pulling in 2020 data. So I would just, when I'm logging in and connecting my bank account, I would just say this year data only. There's an option for that, so don't worry about that. So then it'll pull everything into this section here that says transactions. And what you need to do is then go through each individual transaction and figure out if, you know, if this is business, if this is personal, or if this is a split situation. So it gives you a hint that these categories in this column here will be for Schedule C only, okay? So let's start. So let's say you have a home office situation. So for this first transaction here, it's going to tell you business, personal, or split. So if you have a home office, you can select business, and it's already going to recognize that since you put rent in here in this transaction description, it's going to say this is a home office deduction. So this is rent for your home office. And then you need to click save so it remembers that. Okay, so the next thing that I want to look at is the income. So for income here, we're going to go ahead and say that's business, and then it will automatically, since it's kind of like an addition to your bank account, it'll automatically think that it's income, so you can just save that one. Okay, so for utilities, since you are saying that, yes, I do have a home office deduction, so you can just go ahead and click on business, and it's going to tell you that it's going to go on Schedule C for the home office deduction, and save that. Common grounds, cafe. Okay, so let's just say this is a personal expense. So we can just say personal, and it's going to say personal spending here. Now, what this version isn't showing you is that you can actually categorize this in a personal section. And so I would say like dining out or something like that. And that way you can kind of like take a look at what is actually going on in your business and what is actually going on in your personal spending. So I like that feature. I'm sad that it's not updated here in the tutorial, in the test drive, I mean, but hopefully they'll get to that soon enough. All right, so Amtrak, let's say you have Amtrak and this is a travel expense. So let's go ahead and say that's business, and it's gonna recognize that it's a travel expense. Now, if it was like something different, so let's say, you know, vehicle, so then you could select whatever category it is. All right, so that's kind of like a quick overview of how you would categorize each of those transactions. They make it very clear for you and pretty straightforward, so it's easy to identify and it's easy to work your way through. So the home tab is what we first talked about, and then the second tab was the transactions. And then let's go ahead and talk about the reports next, because I like this feature, and this is also an update that they did in 2020. So I'm really excited about that. And that is this little report here called profit and loss. And, you know, typically when I talk with self-employed individuals, they aren't looking at their financials in a profit and loss situation. And so this is really going to be very helpful for you guys so that you can analyze how your business is going. So right now the filter says it's going to be for last year. So let's just say we wanted to look at year to date. So that would be January through today's date. And then I would click on view. There's another drop down here that says view, print, download, or email, which is really great. They give you several different options that you can look at it, but I'm just going to view it for now. So it's giving us a generic name, Jennifer Smith, and it's saying January 1st through March 25th. Here's what it looks like. So your business income is all aggregated in this number here, $16,535. And then all of your expenses are listed here, and they are also aggregated in these numbers as well. So it actually shows you what your net income is year to date, so January 1st through March 25th. And this is really cool. So this is a great way that you can just start analyzing your business financials through QuickBooks. Now, the other report that I want to draw your attention to is, okay, let's X out of here, is the tax summary report. So let's say we're going to look at 2020 tax year, and it's going to show you a summary. This is like your business profit and loss, basically totals for Schedule C and healthcare deductions. So let's click on view and see what that looks like. Okay, so this is another kind of like profit and loss summary, but it's going to show you a little bit more detail, and especially these Schedule C deductions. So this is really what your spending is here, and then what your deduction will be here in this column. So I really like the fact that they split that out just so you can see it. They are also showing you your business mileage, which is another tab that you can track your miles here. I'm not going to go into detail on this video about that. And then there is a standard rate deduction, so $119 for 207 miles. For this is year to date only, so January through March. Now for the home office deduction, they have a separate section, and they say this is going to be 200 square feet and $5 per square feet, which is the standard amount. And then these are your actual spending, and then this is the standard deduction. So very, very straightforward, very clear. If you had any kind of business assets, let's talk about like machinery, or if you had a car that was related to your business, any kind of those things, they would be entered here. You would see that information here. And then for healthcare, you would set this up under the tax checklist, which is up here. And then it would tell you what your estimated tax payments will be. Okay, so this is kind of like the report that you can review prior to filing your quarterly estimated taxes. So tax details, now let's go here for 2020, and then let's download this. And this is really cool as well. I like this, the way that they have this Excel spreadsheet laid out. So I'm going to show you that as well. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet that QuickBooks automatically generated. So it says 2020 business summary, and it's going to be all the dates, so January through December, although there's no data there. This is just for review. So what it does is actually shows you a quarterly breakdown of your business financials, which again is very cool. I really like how they laid it out. It's very clear and straightforward for you. And if you had any kind of questions as far as like, okay, wait, what is in this number here? Then you would come down here and you would look for the tab that says Home Office Expenses. So we'd have to scroll to the right a little bit and then see this tab that says Home Office Expenses. And it's going to show you all of the data that you have in QuickBooks for that time period, which again is very cool. I like that they do this. So you can double check all your line item detail there.
You can also double check your business income. You can check this against your bank statements, and it tells you which account it is in case you have a couple of accounts that are connected. No advertising. Let's see what else is going to be included. So let's look at meals. All right. So meals, okay, so it's going to show us that there are several meals here. And remember, meals are not 100% deductible. So it's going to be probably 50% of this total here. All right. And then there's that travel expense that we looked at. And then it shows you all of the totals and deductions. These are the miles tracked for January as well, or for the first quarter, I'm sorry. So again, very cool. I like how they do that. And then when you are ready, you can come up here to the taxes tab. And this is how you can file your quarterly taxes. So they have two tabs here at the top. One is for annual and then one is for quarterly. So we're going to look at the quarterly one. So for Q1, what you would do is just download those reports, double check all this information for Q1, make sure it looks good to you. And then when you're ready, you can come over here and follow the prompts so you can file your estimated taxes. So right now it's actually telling us that we have one thing that we need to review for the tax checklist, but we can just click on this little prompt here and it's going to tell you all of these things, which is really great. You can review it here and then it highlights in blue what you need to review. So we can go directly to that with that link. And it says Joanna Stores. Okay, so uncategorized. So let's just consider this like an office supply, perhaps. All right. Now, you can also use these quick links up here to go to your estimated tax due. And then once you're good with everything, you just click on Pay Now. And then it's actually filled out an 1040 ES payment voucher for you. So all you would do is you could double check the amount that you're paying. And then if you're filing jointly with your spouse, if you do that on an annual basis, you would want to make sure that you click yes here. Your spouse's name, social, and then your name, social, your address, and then you would click on continue here. It's going to walk you through how to print this and where to mail it. Now, if you want to choose to do it online, what you could do is get this amount and then you can go to the IRS website and they have some quick links for you to pay online, but you would want to make sure that you pay that amount. When you finish your tax checklist, it'll show that you're complete there, which is great. And then when you do end up paying your taxes, QuickBooks will recognize that payment, either if you made it by check or if you did it online, when it comes through on the transactions tab. And if you are trying to find your tax payment, if QuickBooks did not recognize it, then you would just come here. There's a little drop down right here. You would just click on find your estimated tax payments, and then it would give you a list of items that they think might be one of them. All right, well, that's it for now. I am glad that you have watched this video, and please let me know if there's anything that you had questions on that you'd like me to dive deeper into on a next video.
If you're watching this, it's highly likely that you started your business over the course of the pandemic. And I am so excited that you're here. I'm so excited that you started your business. And you may have questions because you're using QuickBooks Self-Employed and you're like, am I doing this right? Do I know how to categorize the transactions? And the list of questions goes on, right? Hi, my name is Adrina. I am the owner and accountant here at Accounting by Adrina. And in this video, I am going to give you the updated version of QuickBooks Self-Employed for the year 2021. Now, I did a different video for QuickBooks Self-Employed 2020, and that is going to be listed down in the description box below. It is probably one of my most popular videos, and I'm so excited that you're here watching the updated version of that video. So I don't necessarily talk about the same things that I did in the QuickBooks 2020 2020 tutorial. So make sure you go watch that first and then come back to this video, because I'm going to give you a lot more information here, and I get really excited about a few things that QuickBooks has to offer, and so I'm here for it, and I know that you are too. I just want to give you a little bit of a warning. This is a content heavy video, so make sure you have a notepad and a pen or pencil ready, because you're going to need to take some notes. Make sure you save this video, because you might need to be referring back to this video multiple times as you're doing your bookkeeping throughout the month. Now, if you do have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below. I'm also going to leave links to the video for how to pay your quarterly estimated tax payments. So I will this is kind of like a series, right? So start with the QuickBooks 2020 tutorial, and then do this video, and then do the how to pay your quarterly estimated taxes, and then you'll get all the information that you need. Let's just get to it. And if you have any questions, I'm here to help you along the way. As always, with all of our videos, we're going to start with a test drive version, and I am using an incognito browser for this, only because I've been using QuickBooks on my desktop already, and sometimes there's issues if you already have QuickBooks and you want to try a test drive version. So I want to give you that little tip in case you do want to try the test drive version, because maybe you want to give something a shot and you don't want to mess up anything that you have going with QuickBooks Self-Employed already. So anyway, all that to say, we are in the Self-Employed test drive version. And I know that I had already given you some ideas as far as customizing this homepage here in my previous video. So I'm not going to get into that, but I do want to draw your attention to these quick links here, which are actually really helpful. So as soon as you log in, you can come up here and download the mobile app if you haven't already. You can also fill out a tax profile, and this will be really handy when it comes to paying your quarterly estimated tax payments as well as your annual taxes. So we'll get into that in just a moment. And then the third quick link is to review the transactions that you have not previously categorized. So real quick, I just want to give you a little bit of an overview as far as the tax profile is concerned. You want to make sure that you do this before filing your quarterly estimated taxes or filing your annual tax return, because this is going to be really useful when it comes to calculating your taxes that are due. So a sidebar opens up after you click on the complete tax profile button, and it kind of walks you through the steps that you would need to do as far as starting any job anyway. So things that you should know: marital status, filing jointly, number of dependents, your annual withholding, federal withholding, your spouse's first name, last name, annual W-2 income. So, and if you're going to take the standard deduction, or if you're going to itemize deductions. There's also a tab up here that says projections, and it's for just this previous year. So you can always tell what year you're in by this little drop down here. And then it goes through each quarter basically, as far as, so it categorizes it by quarterly estimated tax payments, not necessarily like what we would consider standard quarters. As you can see, this is only 2 months. So this is going to be really helpful when it comes to projecting for how much you would be paying out for your quarterly estimated tax payments. I really like this feature. It's very nice. You can also do the drop down and see previous years. So that's really helpful and handy to have. There is another button up here that's called the tax checklist, and I don't think I got into this last time, but it's basically, you can come up here and click on tax checklist, or you can come up here to the sidebar and click on taxes, and it's pretty much the same screen. So for annual taxes, it's only going to show the most recent one. So that would be, we're filming this in 2021, and that would be for 2020 tax year, since we haven't come up on tax season yet for 2021. Quarterly will be the current year. So maybe this test drive version hasn't been updated yet, but the screen that you should see would be the 2021 tax year. If you don't see it, make sure you click that drop down and select 2021. So it'll show you exactly what your quarterly estimated taxes were for each of these deadlines. And payments to date will have the list of when you like come up here to the transactions tab and you categorize everything, then it'll automatically recognize, oh, this was taxes for Q1 or for Q2 or Q3. So you'll have that list here. Obviously, we just opened this test drive version, so there's really no other data in there other than like whatever is stock standard. And so let's see, we're now in Q4, which means the taxes aren't due until January 17th, 2022. And then it shows you a little bit about your tax profile. You can always edit it with this little pencil icon, and then any projections that you would have for your profit. Let's see. So then at annual tax time, you would just come here, and you can also like view all your information here. You can also download a report as I showed you in the previous video. So the next area that I want to go to, I kind of wanted to run through that very quickly because I want to spend a little bit more time on the transactions section. So you can click on this link here that says review now, or you can click on this little button here that says transactions. And one of the things that I am so excited about is this new feature called category and tags. Now, when I filmed my previous video, this wasn't updated yet in the self-employed test drive version. So I'm really excited that this is updated now here, and I can't wait to show you what you can do with this, because it just opens up a whole new like window of opportunity for you as far as like analyzing your finances and just keeping on track with your bookkeeping as well as your personal finances. So yeah, so that's what I'm super excited about. So I just scrolled down a little bit on the transactions tab, and as you can see here, these have already been categorized. So earlier I showed you in that other video, you can categorize it as business or personal, or you can even split it. When you do select split, you can say there's a specific amount or there's a percentage of a split that you want to do. So let's say you want to do 50% to business and the other 50% to personal. You can do this in QuickBooks Self-Employed. But let's just say, for example, this is, sorry, I thought I was on the body shop one, but that's okay. Okay, so let's say that this Luke coffee shop was business. $91. Oh my goodness. Please tell me you're not spending $91 at a coffee shop. But if you are, make sure that you categorize that as meals. And let's say maybe you met someone there and you had a business meeting, and so you ended up having a lot of coffee. Or maybe it's not just a coffee shop and you have meals and things like that. But you want to make sure that you're categorizing that as meals. So business and meals. And effective through the pandemic, we're able to deduct 100% of meals for 2021 and 2022. That ends in, I believe it's January 1st, 2023. So double check with your tax professional on that, because things had changed over the past year and a half and it was really hard to keep up. I'm sure you're well aware of that. Okay, so once you've categorized that as business meals, then you can move on to the next transaction. So let's say this is business and vehicle repairs. Great. Okay, so QuickBooks tries to get to know you and become a little more intuitive with how your transactions interact with like the P&L, for example. So it's trying to just predict what your category would be. And so this is just artificial intelligence at its finest. I love the fact that it already is getting to know you and how you would categorize each of these transactions. So the other thing that I want to mention is, okay, so you can do business and then you can do category. And then on top of that, if you click this little drop down here, you can actually create a tag. So let's just call this, this says income Beth. So let's call this Project Beth. And then you would add Project Beth. You can give it a color. And that will automatically get tagged onto this income when you select it. So then you can go ahead and click on save. And then you see this little icon here. That means that there's a tag already included in this transaction. So All of these other transactions do not have a 1 by it. They're 0, which means there's no tags. But let me show you what that's good for in a little bit. Let's just go ahead and call this one Project Christie, because I see that listed in the description, and let's give that a color green. Okay, and let's go ahead and click on save, and then let's come up here and find another income one. Okay, Project Kim, and you can literally call these things anything that you want to, as you can tell, because I'm just naming it as I go. And then let's save that. And then if you needed to, let's say you had a typo in that Project Kim, you can come up here to this button that says Manage Tags, and it should allow you to edit. There we go. Okay, so let's just edit this one and let's call it Project Kim and save. Now, another cool thing, okay, well, you can delete tags too if you would like. You can create a group for tags and have like a bunch of tags under it. Anyway, it can get a little complicated, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend having like too many options available to you because it would be hard to manage after a while. So one of the cool features is that you can now show a report on your tags. So you can come up here to tag totals on the, I just clicked on the reports on the left-hand side and then view. And now all of a sudden you have a summary of each project. So according to each project, here's the income, and it would list any expenses that you had tagged that specific project or whatever you want to call it. And then there's the net income and loss. I absolutely 100% love this feature. It is so helpful. It is going to be so good for you guys because especially if you're working with like maybe 5 different clients and you need to use this one program that costs like $15 a month for this one client, then you would capture that here and call it Project Christie, and it would show, you know, $15 times 9 months or whatever. And then it could show you the net income and loss. I mean, there's so many opportunities here that obviously I'm bursting at the seams of, because it's such a cool feature. And I'm so happy that they added this to the QuickBooks Self-Employed version. So another really cool thing is the fact that you can, okay, so SEO, online advertising, that's obviously business, right? Let's see if we can find something. Okay, Amtrak. Let's just say this was a personal expense. So now all of a sudden you can add personal expenses. This still doesn't look like it's updated, but you can categorize your personal expenses as well. So let's see if I can show you what this looks like. So when you click on the category here, there's usually going to be a link when it's blue, and then you can come up here and search all of your categories. So it's not showing all of the categories for whatever reason. Let's see, here we go. So these are all business categories actually, and I don't see any of the personal expenses, but when you do have the QuickBooks Self-Employed personal expense show up here, it just opens up a whole another level of opportunity as well, because then you can start categorizing it like, you know, personal travel or grocery shopping or student loans or whatever the case may be. Like there's going to be a lot more options as far as the categories are concerned when it comes to your personal spending. So that is also a really neat feature. I'm sorry that that's not included here in the QuickBooks Self-Employed test drive version. All right, so next we're going to go to the reports tab, and I wanted to show you, I know I've showed you guys in the previous video how to look at all of this information, but basically you can just download all of your information for the tax year 2020. Let's say you wanted to look at tax year 2021. You can download this. It'll come in Excel, in an Excel version. And so I want to quickly show you what that looks like. I have it here. I did get a question on my channel, and so I just wanted to quickly address that. When it comes to your mileage, I know that some people are using this tab called miles. And I think what happens is I don't have any personal experience with this, but what it looks like is these are coming through on the app, and you can add in a trip purpose. And so after every drive, like you can basically just tell the app, like, this is what I did it for. It's for business. Or if it's for personal, you can recategorize it here in QuickBooks. Let's say you made a mistake through the app and you don't know really how to fix it. Then you would come here on a desktop and online, and then you can edit it here. So it tells you the IRS standard mileage rate. And the question was in regards to, like, what do you do with this information? What am I supposed to do with this information? So let me just quickly address that one. It will show up here on this tax summary that I just downloaded from QuickBooks Self-Employed, that button that I showed you, and it's going to show miles tracked. So as of the date that I downloaded this, you've had already 300, where did it go? 336 miles tracked. So, and I think what you're doing is opening up the app on your cell phone before you go on a business trip or a business drive. Maybe you're meeting up with a client. That would be something that I would do. And I would say start GPS and then end GPS, and it would tell you that's how many miles. So when you come to the quarterly breakdown, it would be listed here as what is deducted. Okay, so that's kind of how that works through QuickBooks. You would just make sure that you capture all of the deductions, and let's see. Yeah, so health insurance premium, health savings accounts, miles tracked. So all of the deductions, basically, you would capture that on your annual tax return. So again, consult your tax professional about this if you have any more specific questions, as I don't have any personal experience using this mileage feature, but I do know it exists, and I think it could be helpful if you do a lot of driving, especially for photographers, because I know photographers are going all over the place. I have one as a client, and yeah, she's just driving all over the place. So in this quarterly breakdown tab, what you could see is kind of like these are all, this is income. I don't know why this is blank, but usually that should be filled in. Income is all listed up here. And then here's your spending. And then here's what's actually going to be deducted in your tax return. So that's kind of how you read this report. That's why there's two sections here. And sometimes, like, it's not, especially for car and truck, you're not going to get the full deduction. You're going to get whatever deduction you say that you use it for your business. Commissions, that looks like a full deduction. Home office expenses, obviously you're not going to get the full deduction of what you actually spend for your home office there as well. I think I did have another question come through as far as like your home office expenses, what you can deduct. And I would just say consult your tax professional on that, because I don't want to give off like specific tax advice here. But generally speaking, I would say like internet utilities, you can take a certain percentage of that. And there's a couple of different ways that you can calculate that. So that's why I want you to make sure that you're talking to a professional for your own specific advice, because everyone is different. And so it's going to be a little bit different for everyone. Okay, so then they did, let's see here. It looks like the calculation is still 50% set up here for QuickBooks, but just know that meals are now 100% for these 2 years, 2021 and 2022. So yeah, if you had any specific questions as far as like where, what is included in this spending, you can just come over here. So this is the car and truck category. So you can come to this tab, car and truck, and then you'll see the breakdown of all of the expenses in there. So that is one of the things I like about it, is just like, give me all the data. I love the data. This way I can analyze it, and it's so much easier for me just to get hard data like that. All right, so I think that's going to be it for me today. I would love to hear back from you guys. If you had started your business over the course of the pandemic, let me know what kind of business you are and when you started and how your business is going. I'd love to have some conversations down in the comments. And yeah, if you have any questions, do feel free to put them in the comments as well. And I will see you guys in my next video. Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video, I thought I would grab a few questions from one of my most popular videos. You probably already saw it. It's the QuickBooks Self-Employed tutorial. And there's just a bunch of questions down there in the comments. I try to address them as much as I can, but these few questions I thought I could address in a video as far as like a how-to is concerned. So stick around and I'll show you a couple of things on QuickBooks Self-Employed through the test drive version. And make sure you're subscribed to my weekly newsletter so you are the first to know of new videos that are coming out. And let's get to it. I'm going to actually share with you guys a new link for the QuickBooks Self-Employed test drive version. This is just directly on the QuickBooks.Intuit site because I've heard some feedback that sometimes the links that I'm providing for the QuickBooks test drive, they're not working. And I even tried it too earlier today and it wasn't working for me. So let's just go straight to here. And then you can scroll down and you'll see the two buttons. This is for QuickBooks Self-Employed right here. And then this is for QuickBooks Online. So we're doing a Q&A for QuickBooks Self-Employed today. And then it's going to load. I think there's like one quick screen. You just click on continue. All right. Okay, there we go. Now, regarding the first question, it says, thank you, great video. You are very clear and friendly. A pleasure to learn from you. So thank you for that comment. Now her question is, can we categorize personal expenses with QuickBooks Self-Employed? For example, groceries, gas, clothes, travel. And this is from Cynthia. Thank you for your question, Cynthia. Thank you for your comment. I appreciate you watching my videos. I actually did record a whole video on how to categorize your personal expenses in QuickBooks Self-Employed. So I'll link that video down below, but just for a quick overview, on this left-hand bar here, you click on transactions. And then now this test drive version doesn't have all of the bells and whistles that like the self-employed version actually has. So when you want to categorize something as personal, you would just click on this button in the middle that says personal. If it is like half personal, half business, then you can do a split here. And then it tells you like, I guess there's this warning message, but you can either do percentage or amount as far as like how you want to split it. So, I mean, that's kind of nice if you want to do like 50-50, or you can like create a rule for that. But generally speaking, it's just this quick button in the middle. You click on personal. Now in this section here where it says categories and tags, you can actually customize it when you're using the QuickBooks Self-Employed version. For example, you can select groceries, you can select gas, and then there's, I can't remember if there's a clothing one, but I know there's a shopping one. I know there's a pharmacy one, and there's all sorts of options for personal spending as well. And then that way, when you do like look at your report at the end of each month, you would be able to see, I don't know if this one shows it, but let's just say like the last 3 months. You would be able to see like business, and then it would show you a separate P&L so then you can see all of your expenses, business and personal, on kind of like that same document. So yeah, that's just the quick view of how to categorize it as personal. Now let's move on to the second question. So the next question is, how do you import it to Excel? You were clicking too fast, help. All right, so when you want to, I think what he's referring to is the tax details. Let's see here, the tax details report. Now it says Excel. You just have to scroll all the way down to see it. So this is the tax details report. When you click on download, it's going to be in Excel. This one here, for tax summary, when you click on download, it's going to be in a PDF file. So there's that. For this one, when you click on for tax details, When you click on download, it does come as an Excel file, and then you would just name it whatever you want it to name. So this is the test drive file for tax. Now this is tax details. So it's just going to be whatever information is in the QuickBooks Self-Employed test drive version for 2022. So let me just give you a quick glance at what it looks like. So it opens up in Excel, and you can kind of, reformat it to however you like it. But they have all of these tabs here at the bottom. And so this one is just like a summary overview of all 12 months. Here's the quarterly breakdown. This is a little hard to read, so I always kind of like rejigger the columns. So it tells you, like, here's your spending, but here's what's deductible. So I think that's a kind of a nice feature. And then down here, there's like the totals. And then there's also a section for healthcare. And then these are the transfers. And then this is for the miles that are tracked within QuickBooks Self-Employed. So this is a really helpful perspective that you can use when it comes downtime for your taxes. And then it does say details. Each of these tabs show all of the details for all of the transactions that are in QuickBooks for that specific time period. So at the very end of this report, it will list out all of your personal expenses. There it is. And then, well, it does show different categories here, uncategorized. So, I mean, it's a good report just for data purposes. Love that it has an export to Excel that you can just see all of your data here. It's so helpful when it comes time to kind of like do your budgeting or do your taxes, especially your quarterly estimated taxes. I think this is a really helpful tool to have. All right, let's move that aside. And so the reports that I just looked at are tax summary and tax details. Sorry, I didn't click on tax summary. So let's open that. And you can kind of see it's similar information. It's kind of presented a bit nicer, which is good. So that's helpful. So it's just under the report section, and then there's tax summary and tax details, and it says Excel. So everything else is going to come out as a PDF. All right, let's move on to the third question. The third question says, can I list cash on hand spending on QBSE? And this is from Thomas. Thomas, thank you for watching and thank you for submitting your question. You can absolutely list cash on hand spending, and here's how I would manage it. So I would go over to the transactions tab on the left-hand side, and up here where it says add transaction, I would just go ahead and add transaction. So let's say it was for today and we're going to be meeting a client for coffee. Or you can call it client meeting, however you want to phrase it, but make sure you're specific and you can name the person. So let's just pretend you're meeting with me, and then it was a total of $25. And this is a business expense. And then you'll say, oops, meals with clients, and then save. So when this transaction like goes over, see, it can tell you right there, Schedule C, meals. You can upload a copy of your receipt, which is a nice feature here, but you can also see it when you run a report for your profit and loss under this month, and then click on view, and then you'll see, there it is. There's that $25. I think it gets categorized as cash. Yes, it does, cash right there. All right, so that was hopefully a helpful way to add your cash transactions into QBSE. All right, well, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.